What's going on, guys? So I was coming into the Shoky Cave to do some recording, to go ahead and film not quite Master Grade Monday, because I am done with the Hexa gear. So I got to some trash. But I wanted to make a quick little kind of vlog-like video real quick. I just had some stuff in my mind. And I want to talk about, like, just why I YouTube at all. I don't know, that's kind of a question that comes up during a lot of Q&As and stuff like that. Like, hey, what got you into YouTube? This, that, and the other. And, I mean, like, if you've seen my Q&As before, you know, I've said, you know, the main reason I started was because I had thoughts and opinions of Gunpla, and I even started with the Graham Acre suits that are down, actually, behind me so you can't see them. That was actually the very first video I ever did. Didn't go on YouTube, went on Facebook. In fact, I was Facebook living fairly often in a lot of the Gunpla groups. And it was just basically to express my opinion and, well, talk to people. Because, you know, I don't have that many people to talk to in my life anymore. And we'll get into that, but it's just that, you know, YouTube is a community. It's a giant group of people all sitting around basically expressing themselves the way they want to. And I grew up as an artistic person. I used to draw, I used to paint, got into CG stuff. I was building things, of course, other models and such like that as a kid. And of course, growing older, building things out of wood. If you've seen my table, if you watch go back and watch the other vlogs. Which, by the way, I don't feel like moving all the old vlogs over to the main channel, so there's always a link at the end of the video, so just pop over there if you want to go watch any of the other 70-ish vlogs that aren't on this channel. But anyways, always needed a creative outlet, and eventually I picked up Gunpla, and that was a big thing. And then once I found Gunpla groups, especially the Texas Gundam Club, and eventually the Houston Gundam Club, you know, I had to find a sense of community again, because I had totally lost that. Because, well, for a very long time, I was single. Good 10 years. I wasn't in with anybody. So from my late teens, you know, through, actually, mid-teens, basically through my mid-20s, I had no relationships with anybody. I just had, you know, just hung out with my friends. We went and did stuff. I worked, I went to school, you know, college and all that. And then, you know, as we got older, we got into other things, including going to bars and such, as you do. Got into craft beer, eventually, with that same group of friends, and that was my thing. That was my hobby. That was my collection. As I've mentioned before, also in the vlogs, in the ridiculous 23 beers, 1 Shoky video. But I built a community within the craft beer community. So those were my friends. Those are the people I spent time with. Those are the people I talked with the hobby, you know. And then I even built a relationship within that, because my ex was already friends by way of work with my friends. So we met through them, got together, and we all went and did things like you do. You know, we had friends who were couples, we had friends who were single, all this, that, and the other. And, well, basically, before that relationship ended, I lost that group of friends, or at least my older group of core friends, because of, it's a long story, but more or less it was being pushed past my moral limit. I'll just say that. I'm a very moral person. I believe in right and wrong and things like that, and how you treat people, how you act around people, and my moral limit was well exceeded in this particular instance. So I and my girlfriend decided to leave that group because we didn't feel like being a part of that anymore, which changed virtually everything about our relationship. So eventually, when that relationship ended, I lost that core group of friends, and I mostly lost interest in that hobby, because now that was a hobby that I was going to run into those friends. I was going to run into my ex. So basically, I was left with nothing. I was left with a ton of beer and virtually no friends. I still had some. I had my older friends that I'd had for a long time. A few friends just here and there, and then it is what it is. It was not a good breakup. Things lingered for way too long after said breakup. There was way too many things. As I've mentioned, I think before, I went through a very long fit of depression after that, like several years. But I got into Gunpla in the midst of that depression as a way of a creative outlet, and then eventually finding the community. So new people I can hang out with, new people I can be friends with, even to the point that when I joined the Texas Gundam Club, the only meets were in Austin. So I drove 3.5 hours just to go hang out with other people who were doing what I was doing. And that was fun. We had fun. That first meeting, though, driving back at 2:30 in the morning during a rainstorm was not fun. But it is what it is. But, and then, of course, the Houston Gundam Club eventually happened, and found a new group of friends, new people to hang out with. And then, of course, once all that was rolling through, you know, this YouTube thing sort of happened. Of course, prior to that, sorry, Miss Shoky happened. Prior to that, I got her into the hobby, and, well, we got into each other, for lack of a better term. And, well, we hang out with friends, we hung out with family, this, that, and the other. Sorry, I've got something in my eye. It's annoying me. But then I got into doing this YouTube thing because I wanted to talk. I had opinions, I had thoughts, I wanted to talk about them. I liked reviewers. I watched toy reviewers for a long time. I just gotten into Gunpla reviewers at the time. But I got into it just because of that. And then, of course, no real plan, no real anything other than I'm going to review Gundams, and then I'm going to review nerdy stuff because it's here. And this is where we are now. But, you know, a lot of people be like, well, okay, well, you've done that. Why do you keep doing this? Why do you do the vlogs like I'm doing right now? And realistically, I don't have many people to talk to in my life anymore. Those groups of friends have all sort of parried off. I don't hardly ever get to hang out with anybody. Everybody's been too busy for the most part with their own lives, and guess what? That happens. Same thing on my end. Get too busy, can't go spend time with friends. Like, I haven't seen Nick in at least 2 months, and we used to hang out all the time. I mean, granted, he's trying to better his life, trying to become a manager. You know, he does have a baby now. Doesn't live with him, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. He has a baby to take care of, one way or the other, and spend some of his life with, as he should. But, you know, he's talking about all this stuff he wants to bring over and review and hang out and do this, that, and the other, and just can't find free time. I mean, I've got tons of free time. It is what it is. I used to have friends at work, at the regular job, that I just don't see anymore. I don't hang out with anymore because things changed. You know, they moved on to a different center, and I haven't seen them almost since. So at this point, I am technically better friends with some of my YouTube buddies than people I can actually sit down with here in real life. Like, I talk to Unboxing Art almost daily. I was talking to Dan the Plastic Man and those guys almost daily, which I feel kind of bad that I don't talk to them that often. Actually, I meant to message Dan earlier today, see how he's doing. I'll do that after I'm done with this. I do talk to Max Duo pretty much every day. And we've started a group of a lot of kind of YouTubers and nerd collectors and stuff like that, and talking with those guys. But I do this whole thing, this whole Shoky reviews thing, this whole Life of Shoky vlogs thing, because, you know, I want to leave something here Like I feel like I have more to offer than just sitting in a room alone, you know? Maybe I've got knowledge, maybe I've got techniques, maybe I just have an opinion, whatever. But I do it to express myself and to build a sense of community with people again, like you guys who are all watching this video, however many of you are actually going to watch this video of me just sitting around talking without a Gundam in my hands. Because it's people I can talk to. It's people who have questions, people who are interested at least in the things that I'm doing. And like I said, we often get those questions as, hey, why do you do this? Or why did you start doing this? It's like, well, I started doing this because I just wanted to make a video, and this seemed like a good way to do it. And then it turns into, well, now it's kind of my job. But it's also, this is a community, and it's a community I've been building now for almost 2 years. And it's crazy how fast it's growing. It's crazy the friends I've made, the people I've connected in and of myself through like the Builder Showcase swaps, which a new one is starting on April 1st. You know, I get to hang out with people at the Gundam Club. Got people like Dion and Josh at Hobbytown. You know, they're cool dudes. I hang out with them, talk to them all the time, and it's just like trying to build a new sense of self is hard. Like, I know I've got subscribers of multiple age ranges. You know, people in their teens, people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever. Ask yourself, whatever age you're at, and the younger you are, the less likely this is going to be. How many times have you had to completely restart your life? New friends, new home, new hobbies, new everything, because you lost all that due to a relationship or moving or whatever. How many times in your life have you had to do that? Because at this point now, in my mid-30s, I've had to do a major overhaul of my life 3 times at least. Maybe 4, if we're not counting when I moved out of my parents' house, because my life mostly changed. I just had somewhere new to live. But, you know, having to just completely overhaul your life from scratch, it sucks. Trying to find a new sense of self, trying to find a new purpose, trying to find a new anything to make you feel like you again is hard. And honestly, doing this, YouTube's, building Gunpla, reviewing nerdy stuff, hanging out with nerds, talking with nerds, I haven't felt as much like myself before doing this. Does that make sense? Like, this feels more like me than I have since I was like a teenager, you know? This is me getting to express me as I want to. This, you know, you guys don't get an act out of me. You don't get like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be this way on the camera's on. No, this is just how I am. You know, every now and then I might, you know, tweak a little bit for censorship reasons, perhaps. But other than that, like, what you get is me. It's just who I am. And, you know, when I'm doing reviews and I'm giving my opinions on things, you guys want to know why I don't do certain reviews, why I don't buy certain kits and stuff. I don't like them. Why would I buy them? I have no interest in them. I don't need to buy them, you know? So I'm not going to be one of these people who try to dive into everything and see what sticks. Now, I tried that early on with some of the quickies, like the random quickie stuff that used to be directly above my head up here, but now it's mostly in the tub of nerdiness. But, you know, I do, if I find a new hobby, if I find something I like that's new, I'm going to share it with you guys. If you guys find something new and interesting that I've never heard of and I go check it out and I like it, I'm going to share it with you guys. You know, but for the most part, I'm not just going to dive into the things that everyone does just for the hell of it. You know, and a lot of people since I've started this channel have been like, well, why do you do things this way? Why do you make long videos? Or, you know, it's like, I make long videos because that's who I am. I talk a lot. It's like, I talk a lot and I'm detail oriented. I'm sorry, that's just who I am. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch them. That's the way YouTube works. Nobody's forcing my videos down your throat. If you want to watch them at faster speed, go right ahead. If you don't got all day, watch it later. I don't care. A lot of people, I'm getting hundreds of views per Gunpla video now. It's pretty ridiculous. And the fact that anybody would watch my stuff at all is a miracle. So, of course, I thank you guys, as always, for just watching my stuff. But just know that the reason I even do this, for the most part, is because I want to feel like myself. I don't want to feel like I'm holding back anything of me. Stupid phone keeps popping up with ads in the middle of me recording. But I don't want to pretend to be someone I'm not just to try to fit in. And I've caught myself doing that a lot in my life. I'm sure you guys do too. And sometimes you can end up learning something new. You can get into something new that you never even knew about because you decided to just take a chance. Get out of that comfort zone, and that's the hard part. But now, in my mid-30s, it's really hard to get into a different comfort zone, as it were. To find a new sense of community. Like a lot of people, they'll go to church for that sense of community, stuff like that. And that's perfectly fine. I spent many years of my my formative years, as it were, in church, and I've gained some lifelong friends because of that, and knowledge and things like that. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not telling you to go to church. I'm just saying it's an option if you need a sense of community. But you define yourself by the things around you and the people around you, and you can either shape those things to fit you, or you can shape yourself to fit them. Which way is really going to work out? You can either cater to and temper the things and the people that are around you, that are a part of your life. You can change that to fit who you are. But if you're changing who you are to fit into there, just to feel like you can be somewhere else, I don't know. That's one of those things I learned a long time ago. It's like, well, I can either change who I am to fit in somewhere I just have to, or I can be myself and find the people who want to be around who I am. So, it's if you're an asshole, that's one thing. But if you're just a person looking for somewhere to be, for somewhere to belong, as it were. And then literally, if you want to build the things around you to fit your life. Like I often say, this is literally the room that my personality threw up. So I've got my Power Ranger stuff, I've got my Transformer stuff, I've got my Gunpla that of course I built, I've got artwork on the walls, I've got literally my artwork over there. And this is, I organize it all to just be the way I want it to be. But you can do that with your life. You can do that with the people around you. Don't like being around somebody? Unless you're forced to. Like family things. It is what it is. But find the people that you like. And that you want to be around. And cultivate those relationships. That's kind of what I want to do here. That's why when it comes to other YouTubers and stuff that I try to build relationships with, or that I have built relationships with, we find that common ground, which is not that hard because we advertise literally who we are in these things, and then from there you learn who that person is, and you build that relationship, and then you go and you have fun and you do things, But the fact, I looked at it the other day, I was just trying to get people to come over and hang out, play games, drink some beer. Couldn't get a single person. It wasn't entirely last minute, but there was a time in my life I could have literally texted 3 people and a dozen would show up and we'd have fun all night. This was a blanket out call to everyone that I know and almost no one even replied. So we're all busy in our own lives, we all got our own shit we gotta do, but what point in adulting do you have no room for spontaneity? It's like at some point there's people have lost their freedom of just being able to do just whatever. Everybody needs to have time of nothingness. Does that make sense? Like, hey, what are you doing? Nothing. Everybody needs something like that. Everybody needs that time where there's a whole lot of nothing to do, and then that nothing can be filled with whatever random happens. I've had some of the best times of my life because that happened, and I used to live my life very regimented, it has to be like this, it has to be on this time, it has to be, planned out. And now I'm kind of more fluid. It is what it is. You gotta change your life sometimes to fit things. I don't know. My life's gone through a lot of changes, especially in the last few years. And you guys have gotten to witness a few of those changes, just as things happen. You know, if I'd been YouTubing before our apartment flooded, you guys would have been along for that ride instead of did it shortly thereafter. But whatever happens from now on in my life, you guys are going to know about it. I mean, I'm not going to keep vlogging daily. When I have something to talk about or I have something to show off, I'll vlog. You know, stuff like that. I don't mind vlogging. I think it's fun. You know, I don't do a lot in my life, but some of the stuff I do, I know you guys will be interested in watching. Because at least 33 people wanted to see those things. And at least 55 people saw those things the other day when I talked about my wife being in hospital. Which, by the way, she's doing better-ish. Less pain. Now things are starting to feel a little bit weird. I don't know how to, she can't really tell me. We both had a weird day of not feeling good and sleeping. So I slept away most of the afternoon instead of reviewing things like I was supposed to be doing. But I felt like crap after I got home from work. So it is what it is. But through the live streams, through just reviewing stuff, the things I choose to build, the things I buy, like this very expensive transformer over here. It doesn't transform. You know, I show you guys a little bit every video of who I am, you know. Anytime I do a nerdcast, I have other friends over to talk with things. You guys see who I am when I'm talking with them. If you watch the vlogs at all, you get a good window into who I am. And it's just trying to find who I am is how I ended up here. If that makes sense. But I'm just rambling at this point. But I'm going to get to work. I'm going to go check on the wifey here. Again, she's been sleeping for a little while. I'm going to go make sure she's okay. And then I'm going to do the Hexagear review. And I just did dishes, so my hands are like really, really dried out. I hate that. And I forgot to shave all week. I'm surprised I haven't been yelled at by work yet. But I'll catch you guys later. I hope you have a great weekend up ahead of you. I don't have any clue. We have a birthday party / Easter. So happy Easter to everybody, because I don't think I'll live stream. We'll see what happens. But I'll catch you guys on the next one. Remember, as always, it doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be loud. And by the way, that's a motto that I live with in my life. It's also a t-shirt. Go buy the t-shirt. Anyways, if you're interested for some reason in wanting to see how we got to this point in the vlogs, go check out the Life of Shoky vlogs and just binge. Because there's 68 vlogs over there that are not on this channel. So, bye guys.